Tech and clips.
Yeah. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So this video, the tragic love story behind November Rain, Guns N' Roses. Yes, I know this song. I think I've reacted to it a long time ago. Yes, shout out to this channel behind the track, for this video. Let's watch it together, and hopefully, whatever it unravels, I will be able to, give my take, my perspective, and about it. Let's go.
If there's one song that defines Guns N' Roses, it's the song appears on the 1991 album Use Your Illusion, but the story behind it starts way earlier, back in 1983. Rose loved playing piano. He wasn't exactly the most disciplined student. He'd learn whatever the teacher showed him, then ditch it and start playing whatever came to mind.
Okay.
For years, the melody of November Rain lived in his head. He'd play it whenever he found a piano, at parties, in studios, anywhere. He was a huge Elton John fan, and he dreamed of writing something like Your Song.
You can tell everybody this is your song.
Or Someone Saved My Life Tonight.
Someone saved my life tonight.
Okay.
But the big question was, how do you make a soft piano ballad work with the raw power of Guns N' Roses? Then came the light bulb moment. In 1985, Axl saw Tommy Lee from Mötley Crüe playing piano on Home Sweet Home. It was emotional, stripped down, and still sounded like rock. That's what Axl wanted. At the time, Axl was in a relationship with Erin Everly, daughter of Don Everly from the legendary Everly Brothers.
Okay.
The ones who made songs like this.
Yeah.
And to her, they dedicated songs like this. But their relationship quickly spiraled into something obsessive and toxic. That chaos inspired a close friend, Del James, to write a short story called Without You.
Essentially, the short story is about a rock star who was inspired by Axl, who writes a song called Without You about the woman who he loves but he can't really have.
It told the story of a famous musician who, despite his fame, lived in deep depression after being left by his girlfriend. She couldn't take the cheating and excess anymore and left him. When she sees he hasn't changed without her, she decides to end her life. Overcome by guilt and despair, the musician ends his life as well. That story became the emotional foundation for the lyrics of November Rain. The song could have been part of Guns N' Roses' debut album, Appetite for Destruction, but Axl didn't feel it was ready.
When I went in to do the album, it was coming down between that and Sweet Child, and I knew November Rain wasn't done.
Okay.
I didn't really want anybody to help me write it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I knew that it was going to take a lot of work to do what I wanted to do, and I really didn't feel capable, and that the people around me were capable of understanding what I was trying to do, and that there was enough time to do it. So we decided to save it.
He had a clear sound in his head. He wanted drums that felt like Nigel Olson's on Elton John's Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.
One of Nigel's trademarks back on those albums was the way he played the same fill a bunch of times. It's the only time that Axl ever said, play it sort of like this.
Since he couldn't figure out how to explain his orchestral ideas, he recorded the string sections using synthesizers.
Yeah.
So I only had 1 week, and there's no way I was going to learn how to communicate with an orchestra. So we brought in like 8 synthesizers. For 8 hours, I just sat there and played strings to November Rain over and over and over, and picked every single string sound to create my own 130-piece orchestra through like 3,000 sounds. I have to sit there and go, wait, does that one sound more real than that one? For me, putting the orchestra in the video, I don't think it was faking anything, because they were really playing it when they were there. The sound you're hearing when you see the video is what I played But when we did the video, they were actually playing, and it was a way for me to be around an orchestra and see that, because it's not like I have time or cash to just blow and go set up an orchestra somewhere. It has to be for something productive, and this definitely was.
Right.
Slash's guitar solo was imagined from the very beginning. From the moment Axl first played the melody on the piano, he already had that solo in mind, and it stayed that way until the final recording. In Axl's mind, the original version of November Rain lasted almost 20 minutes, but he eventually trimmed it down to 9. Even so, it was a rare length for commercial radio.
Yeah, that's
Yet,
true.
despite that, it became a massive success and remains one of the longest ballads to ever break into the Billboard Hot 100 Top 10. While Del James was writing Without You, Axl was working on Estranged, a deeply personal track that also ends with the phrase, "Without You." When it came time for the video, the band planned a full trilogy based on the story. Don't Cry, November Rain, and Estranged, all directed by Andy Morahan. The November Rain video had a $1.5 million budget, the most expensive rock video ever made at the time. It was eventually beaten by another Guns N' Roses video, Estranged. The video was a massive MTV hit, but it left people asking one big question: how did the bride die? In the story, she dies by suicide. In the video, we just see her in a casket, half her face covered with a mirror. Some think that was a way to hide a gunshot wound, but nothing was ever confirmed. Estranged was supposed to explain everything.
Don't Cry, which was beautiful, kind of segued into Without You.
Then if budget allows, we'll film the next parts of the story.
But Axl broke up with Stephanie Seymour, the model who played the bride.
Where we had intended to make the sequel or the follow-up or the conclusion of November Rain, things changed, plans changed.
You know, at first there was that pressure to come up with the part 3 of the trilogy, and why did Steph die, which was the big question. And so that was the initial pressure, and obviously there's a lot of stuff that Axl was going through at the time, which actually pushed us away from that.
There was an evolving that took place that's very hard to rise to transcend the story that we had and that we intended, but kind of been put in a situation where that's what was necessary to make the right video.
So we kind of went way over somewhere else and tried this thing and then that thing, just in terms of discussions and stuff. And then Axl suddenly suddenly saw a way through in terms of the conceptual way of dealing with it for himself. So that's how Estranged developed.
Plans changed and the story was left open to interpretation. Oh, and yeah, one mystery remains forever unsolved. Why does this guy dive into the wedding cake?
Yeah, I showed up to do my guitar solo.
November Rain became the most watched rock ballad on YouTube and the first music video from the 90s to hit 1 billion views. One of the greatest rock ballads ever. And one of the most fascinating stories behind a song. If you love these kinds of stories, don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back next week with more.
All right, shout outs to the channel behind the track once again. Wow, November Rain by Guns N' Roses. I mean, that was genuinely powerful and eye-opening, I have to say. I mean, as a huge fan of the song November Rain for years, I always knew it was a, deeply emotional and epic ballad. But this video really, peeled back the layers, behind the song's, origins and meaning in a way I hadn't fully appreciated before. I have to say, what struck me the most was how much personal pain and real life tragedy shaped the song. It's not just a grand rock ballad, with a sweeping orchestration and epic solos. It's definitely a reflection, of Axl Rose's own heartbreak, struggles with relationships, and the dark, realities, that came with fame. Hearing how the song, connects, to loss and unfulfilled love, definitely made the lyrics, hit differently. After certain lines in there, to me, aren't just poetic. They are loaded with genuine emotional weight. Also, the video, did an excellent job, tying in the symbolism, from the music video. I mean, the wedding, the rain, the funeral, as representations of the cycle of love, cycle of hope and sorrow. It really, really shows, how art, can mirror life's the most painful and beautiful moments, simultaneously. Musically, the song's arrangement definitely matches the storytelling perfectly. I mean, from the soft and melancholic piano and the strings, to Slash's, iconic, guitar solos, that sound like a cry, of anguish and passion. Knowing the backstory definitely deepens, my respects, for how Guns N' Roses, poured so much of themselves, into this masterpiece. Honestly, this really, really made me want to revisit, this song November Rain, with fresh ears. Like, not just, as a rock epic, but as a deeply personal narrative, about love's fragility. Definitely reminds me that behind, every legendary song, there is often a very, human story that, connects us all. Yes. In summary, this video was a great reminder, that great music, doesn't just entertain, definitely tells stories, carries emotions, and keeps memories alive, So yeah, if you love November Rain, or you are into the stories, behind iconic songs, I feel like this is definitely worth watching. Once again, shout out to the behind the track for this video. Guys, let me know what you think about this video, in the comments down below. Let me know if you want me to continue doing more content, such as this on the channel. I'll definitely be glad to do just that. If you stuck with me to edit the video, you're loved. You're very much appreciated on here. My name is Philip, and on to the next reaction. Take care, stay safe, peace out.